You know that feeling, right? It's a gorgeous spring day, the sun is shining, and then, bam, a sneezing fit completely ruins the moment. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what's actually happening inside your body when that happens. It's a surprisingly wild story. So let's get right into it. When you feel those itchy eyes or that runny nose, that's not just a random annoyance. Oh no, that's your body's internal defense system kicking into high gear. The only problem is, sometimes that system can be a little, shall we say, over the top. Let's find out why. To really get what allergies are all about, you've got to meet the main characters in this drama, and those are our body's own first responders. Think of them as this super dedicated security team constantly on patrol for any signs of trouble. And here is the star of the show, the mast cell. Seriously, these guys are the frontline security guards of your immune system. They're strategically placed everywhere you meet the outside world, like in your skin, your lungs, your gut, and they're just waiting to spot a potential invader. So, how exactly do these guards decide to sound the alarm? Well, it's not random. It's a very specific three-step process. The first time you run into something like pollen, nothing really happens. That's step one, sensitization. Your body is quietly taking notes, making these little antennas called IgE antibodies, and sticking them all over its mast cells. It's prepping for a future encounter. Then, the next time that same pollen shows up, we get step two, activation. The pollen latches onto those antennas, kind of like a key in the lock, and that flips the switch for the grand finale, degranulation. This is the moment the mast cell screams, "Intruder!" and just unleashes a chemical flood into your system. And that whole process, that's what leads to the sneezing, the itching, the whole shebang. You see, the real issue with allergies is that your security guards are having a case of mistaken identity. They're treating something totally harmless, like dust, as if it's a major threat. It's basically a false alarm, but man, the body's reaction is very, very real. You know, when that mast cell alarm goes off, it's not just a little beep. It releases this whole cocktail of chemical messengers. The scientific name for them is mediators, and these little guys are the ones directly responsible for all those allergy symptoms that drive you crazy. So what are these alarm bells actually doing? Well, histamine, that's the one you've probably heard of. It's the culprit behind all the swelling, itching, and that stuffy feeling. Then you've got tryptase, which not only causes a bit of damage, but also calls for backup. Prostaglandins, their job is to just fan the flames of inflammation. And cytokines, think of them as the hype crew, shouting, "Everyone get in here," to recruit even more immune cells, which just makes the whole reaction way bigger and louder. So if the whole problem is an alarm system that's turned up to 11, it kind of makes you wonder, right? Are there ways to help the body, turn the volume down a bit? Let's see what the science has to say about that. So scientists have been looking into a few compounds, a lot of them found right in nature, to see if they can help with this. We're going to dig into the research behind three of them, DHM, Quercetin, and Resveratrol. Okay, first up, DHM. The research on this one suggests that its main gig is to stabilize the security guards, our mast cells. The goal is pretty simple. Try to keep them from hitting that big red panic button in the first place. And it seems to do this in two really clever ways. First, it helps control the calcium signal that acts as the on switch for the mast cell, so it's less likely to just dump all its alarms. And second, even if the alarm does go off, DHM seems to quiet the follow-up signals that tell your body to create even more inflammation. It's basically like putting a pillow over the loudspeaker. All right, next on our list is quercetin. Based on the research, this one is like a multitasking manager for your immune system. It doesn't just focus on one thing. It seems to help regulate the whole situation in a few different ways. What's so cool about quercetin is its range. So like DHM, studies suggest it helps stabilize the mast cells and tinker with that calcium on switch. But here's the kicker. It also seems to boost your body's own antioxidant team. Think of them as the natural cleanup crew, helping to tidy up all the inflammation and making your system more resilient overall. And this is where it gets really interesting. Quercetin appears to have this awesome dual action ability. It helps manage the production of two of the main troublemakers right at the source. It regulates the enzyme that creates histamine, and it inhibits the enzyme that creates another inflammatory chemical. It's like a manager talking to two different departments at the same time to keep things running smoothly. And finally, let's talk about resveratrol, or RSV. In the research world, this compound is often looked at as a balancer, something that might help promote a more measured, less extreme immune response.
So, the big idea with resveratrol is regulation. Research suggests it might influence the mast cells directly, sort of encouraging them to have a more balanced reaction. And it also helps with that all important calcium on switch, trying to prevent overactivation before it even starts. Okay, we've gone through some really fascinating science here. But now we have to hit pause, because it is absolutely critical that we have a quick reality check.
This quote comes directly from our source material, and honestly, it is the single most important thing to remember from this entire explainer. The research is exciting, for sure, but it's about understanding how these compounds might work. They are not FDA-approved treatments or cures for allergies, period.
Look, your body is unique. Your health is your own. Any decision you make about what to put into your body should always, and I mean always, be made with guidance from a doctor or another qualified healthcare professional. They're the ones who can help you make smart choices that are truly right for you. And all of this science leaves us with a pretty cool question to think about. Our immune system is this incredibly complex, powerful alarm system. As we learn more and more about it, what new ways are we going to find to support it, to fine-tune it, and to help it stay in perfect balance? The science is always moving, and that's what makes this so exciting. Thanks for diving in with me.